Hey everyone, it's Tom Seymour with VHS Massacre. For those who listen to the show, you know that the latest movie I have out is VHS Massacre 2, which is a documentary about how the American exploitation film has been basically almost financially starved out by the media conglomerates, the lack of available avenues to make a profit. Not to dwell on that specifically right now, but I'll get into it. I want to talk about some things that have happened. So last week I did a quick little show about how in 2021 DVD had somewhat of a resurgence over Blu-ray. That's taking that into account. It's not some massive comeback where it's like somehow like it was 20 years ago. But what you did see is a significant amount of people are buying DVD now. Blu-ray is about 30% of the market. DVD is about 70% of the market, right? Of the physical media. And that got me a little interested in investigating a few things. One of the things I was investigating is if you look at the stuff that is selling, MVD Entertainment Group is one of the larger companies that they do digital releases as well. I have a number of titles with them, but they also still do physical releases. And they also do physical releases for other companies. So, like, for instance, VHS Massacre 2 is a trauma film, but MVD, it looks like, is handling the actual manufacturing and some of the release of that, although I believe Trauma still sells direct from their website. But recently, VHS Massacre 2 actually hit the #1 new release on Amazon for documentary. And for Blu-ray, which was like a really crazy thing because I'd seen it like the week before at like number 9, number 10, and it kept going up, and I think it hit top 3 bestseller overall, but #1 for new release. So it was pretty amazing, and those two things actually gave me a little hope for the concept of physical media as a valid way of putting out things. So if you look at MVD Entertainment Group, if you look at some of the stuff that's coming out, there's a lot of like really nice special editions. RoboCop Ultra HD, Dead and Buried. You have a James Caan film, The Killer Elite. So for sure, you're getting releases that are known. Right, RoboCop, this looks like some kind of animation. So that's a thing too, right? Companies like Arrow, companies like MVD, or Vinegar Syndrome, Scream Factory, right? These tend to release films that had already been established. But I will say MVD still puts out new horror, new genre films, which is really cool. But physical media is, of course, kind of tricky in regard to still making make a profit. But believe it or not, there are still stores out there that sell DVDs. It often seems like the place where you find DVDs is like, the dollar store. They have a shipment of like, $2 a piece or something like that. Or Walmart has a huge bin of $6 DVDs with like 5 movies on each disc. There are definitely things that make you think the format is dead. But what I pointed out last week is that Wonder Woman 1984 made $20 million off of physical media. So it's far from dead. It's far from just a collector's market. It's not just a collector's market. And in a weird way, one of the stats I looked up was the most profitable form of media, which is a weird way to describe merchandise, is merchandise. $40 billion industry per year is in merchandise. Now that is often tied to like franchises, right? Star Wars merchandise, Lord of the Rings, like, whatever thing, whatever is hot, whatever is selling. I'm sure they sold a hell of a lot of Baby Yodas, right? So merchandise, $40 billion industry. Then you have film is only $10 billion, and video games $5 billion. Television only $1 billion. Home entertainment $9 billion. So home entertainment, would be essentially streaming, right? But that essentially parallels the box office now. So anyway, very fascinating. But it got me thinking about the concept of merchandise, right? So if you were to create, a lot of what these things are doing is they're creating really nice packaging. It's a Blu-ray, it's a special edition. So I was thinking to myself, as an independent filmmaker, maybe you could manufacture your own DVD. Maybe you autograph it. Maybe you try to stick some kind of extra in there. Maybe it's 2 features on 1 disc. You really try to make a nice collectible, a limited run. So that's an idea. I've been working on this recut of a movie I did. I'll show you some footage from it. Okay, so let's look at what it might cost to crank out some DVDs. So this is kind of fun, actually. So I'm on the Disc Makers website, and I'm going to look at DVDs. Not even Blu-ray, just DVDs, right? And let's just say we want to crank out 100 of them, because we're gonna autograph them. We're gonna put like the regular movie on, and then a special edition of the movie, and we're gonna try to really make it something that might be collectible. So let's just do 100 discs, DVD. Okay, so far it's $315. We're gonna do DVD content. We're gonna make a colored jacket on the thing. There's no double layer option, so we're just gonna do single layer DVD. And you could even, this is interesting, you could put them in a Blu-ray case, so it looks like a Blu-ray, but it's actually standard, which is kind of cool, actually. Or you could just put a standard DVD case, and that looks like it's going to save you over $50, right? So let's just go with the black DVD case, and then we'll do the full color wraparound because we want it to have a front and a back, and then basically additional insert pages. We don't really need to do, let's see what cranks up the price of them. $306. Well, what you could do with this 2-panel DVD insert, I think that's beyond the wraparound. You could make a foldable poster, maybe. So maybe that's a mini poster. So maybe that's something you want to do to make it special. So that's three. Maybe you autograph that too. So that's 300, 2-panel. Shrink wrap or no shrink wrap. Let's go with no shrink wrap, because let's say that you're gonna open that thing up and autograph it and whatnot. And then graphic design, you're gonna make your own design in Photoshop. You're going to basically, let's go super cheap. You're gonna do basic DVD, no encoding, right? So you pop the movie in and it just starts playing. Let's just start with that. Let's say you go super cheap. You have 2 movies. You literally have one play, and then you have the other one play right after. And you put a card in the beginning saying movie will start consecutively after. So we're going to try to save as much money as possible, but still have significant content on the disc. And then we're going to need a UPC code. And then we don't need any additional posters, although it looks like you could, let's look at this. 100 full color posters. Let's do 11 by 17. What does that crank up to? Ooh, maybe you do that. You include an 11 by 17 poster. And that's a significant, ooh, look at this, 18 by 24. Okay, let's just do this. So we're going to hit next. This is like a test project. save project. Anyway, I'm gonna have to put my name in there. Anyway, so let's back up. With tax, I mean, at $385 with tax, $460 for 100 of them. Let's go nuts and say it was $250. So 250. It's $800, right? But I think I like that. Let's see what 50 of them would be. $329. Wow, that's not bad. That's really not bad. What's interesting about this? Let's say you did 100, and in the artwork you labeled it as a limited special run, 1 of 100, and you had the poster and you autographed the poster. You had the insert, which is like an alternative poster, and you had 2 little movies on the one disc. And you made 100, and you cranked that out. So less than $500, you'd have that, and then maybe you charge, I don't know, $11.99, so $1,200. Yeah, so you double your money basically. So I thought it was interesting. This is some of what I'm working on now. It's Mark of the Beast. It's a new cut of. It's a new cut of Mark of the Beast with an entirely different score, and it's going to be a black and white version. You can't really go with the way this looks now. I just put a filter on it just as an example. To basically make a new film out of it using additional footage, redo the whole edit, so re-edit the thing, redo all the audio design to accentuate more of the nature of the film, and with sound design, and then have Tim Kulig do an original score for the film, and to black and white it, and to degrain it, and to basically make a new movie out of it. And we're going to call it The Exorcism of Fleet Marish. And I think the goal is to actually do a digital release of it and see how it goes, and then maybe if it does well, try to do a limited run of just regular DVDs. That it may not come to be. It would have to be successful as a digital film, I think, to show if the film had any interest. But it's alluring, right, to look at this math and say this is actually doable. Here's another thing. We can look into Blu-ray. So, Blu-ray 100. Let's go through some of the printing. We're going to do a Blu-ray case, of course. We're going to do our 2-panel insert. We're going to do basic authoring. We're going to do our poster. So we're looking at about $1,200 for that. And then let's look at if we did 250 of them. Okay, yeah, 250, yeah, 1,800, right? Now you're starting to get into some serious dough. But I think 1,800. Let's say we wanted to do Blu-ray 1495 times 250. Okay, I'll round up to $4,000. Yeah, you're kind of doubling your money. If you could move 250 of them, let's just look for 50 of them. Wow, 50, you know. So I think it's interesting. this concept of limited run, a special edition, and trying to make something really just really unique that maybe a collector would get. You know, because here's the other thing too, like a lot of the independent filmmakers from the 90s, we're older now. We have some feature-length films under our belt, some horror films that are, 20 years old at this point. And there may be an appeal for them. There may be an appeal from collectors to want to go back and see some shot on video stuff, see some early 16 millimeter stuff, or whatever. So there could be potentially a market for this. So anyway, this is a lot of fun. The website is Disc Makers. Typically, that the disc makers thing is a concept where you'd probably be trying to sell directly to the public, which is definitely hard. Like, you're not going to probably get in any brick and mortar stores. If you want to go the brick and mortar route, you have to go through a distributor at this point, because no one cares. You're not going to go into Dollar Tree and try to sell them your DVD. So that's something to look at. Or Best Buy or Target or Walmart. Like, a lot of those companies still have physical media. The only thing though is, I was in Walmart around the holidays in Connecticut, and I was looking at the distributors on the back. I didn't see very many, if any, independent film distributors selling stuff on the shelf at Walmart. There may be some independent films that were bought up years ago, but most of the companies still pressing movies are part of the conglomerates or work in service of them. So that was not encouraging. But there are some shops still around that still do this. So, and selling off Amazon, I think, works. I think that can work if you have a large enough social media network and you're in the horror scene and part of all those groups. Maybe you can sell 50 autograph copy special editions, limited run. Who knows. Anyway, something to look into. I'm not saying this is guaranteed to work, but I had a lot of fun investigating it. So anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.